What's a 29-year-old man to do when he's an accomplished CEO, has a 5-bedroom house, even a fancy car, looks forward to getting married, and realizes he's meant to be a priest? In his small office in the rectory of a Gettysburg church, Father Kevin Kennedy recalls the moment when he realized he was meant to be a priest.
And I was in the kitchen, I love to cook, and there I was, and I just thought to myself, my God, you are meant to be a priest. And almost as at the moment that I thought I just knew it was meant to be, which was scary.
It was not a warm and comfortable feeling. After all, he had worked hard to get an MBA and build his business. He was also enjoying his role as a corporate executive, and his business was thriving.
When I was working and building a business, I really thought we had something to contribute to society because we were developing cardiovascular drugs. And I tried to run a business whereby the employees were well taken care of, they had good benefits. So I was trying to provide a good lifestyle for the employees as well. So it wasn't a situation where I was, a business mogul taking advantage of people and then had a conversion. I think there was more of a flow from one stage of life to the other.
So he struggled with the question, should he give up everything to become a priest?
At first I tried to dismiss it as an emotional response. Not that emotions aren't important, they're very important, but they can be fleeting. And so I said, let me give it time. This just might be something going through your head or heart temporarily. But it didn't. It became quite obsessive almost, this thought, this recurring thought. And I didn't want to divulge it, obviously, at work, but I did call the Archdiocese of Washington, where I live, and asked them, I have this problem, and that's the word I used. I said,
he decided to answer the divine call, and 6 years later, he became a priest.
Because they've heard about him, and now they're excited, they want to know him. So they wave their palms, and they take the most expensive item of clothing that they have, their cloak. They lay it out on the ground so he can walk over.
Father Kennedy says as a child he attended church but did not have any interest in his teens and early 20s. His family was surprised at his decision, but very supportive.
God works in very mysterious ways and in very ordinary ways as well. A divine call, we could say it's, a bolt of lightning getting thrown from your horse or whatever. But I think for the most part, and for me personally, God works through those events in our lives and the people in our lives, drawing you closer to Him. The King of glory comes, the nations rejoices, open the gates before Him, lift up your voices.
The Washington area is home to at least 36 second career priests. Dean Hogue, sociology professor at Catholic University, did a survey on newly ordained priests.
The Catholic seminarians are older and older each decade, and at the present time the average age of men who are being ordained is 36 or 37. Now, that's somewhat older, and therefore the majority are second career.
He says 2/3 of the men in seminaries have had successful careers, and 3/4 have various work experiences.
There are others who are in the fields of engineering or something, and they feel like it's not satisfying for their lives. They want to do something more spiritual, more actually helpful, more contributing to humanity.
As Father Kennedy says, he was not running away from anything, but running toward a more satisfying and spiritual lifestyle. And he has no regrets, but sometimes wonders what would have happened had he taken another course.
I have to be honest, and when I see some of my friends who have children and homes and stuff like that, it still pulls on the heartstrings, but no more than if I was a married man, right? And wanted to look over the fence and see some grass that's greener on some other side. I think no matter what course in life you choose, it's normal at times to look at other courses in life and say, well, I wonder what would have happened if I followed that direction.
There are not many second career men who resigned. The ones who resigned are the younger ones who came to seminary earlier with less outside experience. What to make of that, I don't know, but it is a fact.
The shortage of priests have increased the work, so they must take on other roles besides their regular duties, and it can be hard to find time for prayers.
It's always striving. One, I face frustrations. Time is obviously a frustration for many people. So the development of one's personal spiritual life, as well as managing a parish, sometimes seem to be at odds with each other. And finding a balance between those two is difficult. It's a difficult struggle. And saying no to people at times when you know you have to take care of your own spiritual life. That's a struggle.
Father Kennedy is also making use of his skills and professional background. He is studying successful models in other fields to use them in a parish setting. Professor Hoke says the number of men going in seminaries each decade has declined by 25% in the last 30 years. And that's our program for today. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week.